Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Hey, we're back at it, ready to have some fun with the 2022 release of the Michter's 10-year Rye Whiskey. Yes, it has finally graced our presence. I want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to Michter's. They actually did provide this bottle, for me to kind of go ahead and review it. No strings attached. So I do appreciate Michter's. You guys know me. I'm always going to keep it real, regardless. But I'm ready to dive into this bad boy. So think back to. Gosh, I reviewed Michter's on numerous occasions, so I'll fly in some of the other videos just to kind of give the background of Michter's, but of course, kind of high level, based in Louisville, Kentucky. Everything that they put out from a whiskey related bourbon and or rye, always toasting their barrels. And if you think about Michter's, I always kind of come with like the thought of like the whole campfire experience. It's always a little bit sweeter, a little bit smokier, but that really works well for at least my palate and for a lot of you out there. So what makes this release slightly different is that this is the only release this year that they're actually going to put out for their 2022 for their rye whiskey. So the one release, so if you find it and you're a Michter's fan, you may want to grab it. The next thing I'll say is that they're not putting out a 10-year bourbon this year. So according to Dan McKee, the master distiller, we will all have to wait, including myself, to next year to find the 10-year bourbon. So 10-year rye whiskey is here. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this bad boy open real quick. So normally I do like to pop these open, let them breathe for a little bit, but this is fresh. Like I just got it, so hey, I'm gonna go ahead and pop this bad boy open here with you all. All right, let me dive into it. In preparation, I will say I had a couple bottles from the 2020 release. This bad boy right here, so the 2020 rye whiskey. So this is one I actually just opened not too long ago. I was really excited about this bad boy, so I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and pop open my last bottle of my 2020 Michter's 10-year rye whiskey. Ugh, whew, don't you love that sound? All right, let me go ahead and pour this bad boy. I think even at the end, I'll even compare the 2022 versus the 2020. So let's kind of go over the basics real quick. So a couple of things. Number one, proof still the same, 92.8 proof. MSRP, I know, hold back, $185. Yes, $185. It's definitely expensive, so I will say, and it's highly allocated because there's only one release that's coming out this month in July. So if you see it and you're a Michter's fan, you probably want to go ahead and grab it. But because it is such a highly allocated whiskey, you know what I always say. Go to a great bourbon bar and or even like a steakhouse that has a great bourbon or rye whiskey menu, and just try it there. There are a lot of great bars out there that have great whiskey menus, so make sure you go to your local bar or restaurant that might have this in stock for you can try it. Cool? All right. So $185, definitely a little pricey. All right, let me get into this nose real quick. Not bad. All right, so one last thing that's really important to note is that this year's release, Michter's did confirm that it does have a high percentage of corn and malted barley in the mash bill. So of course, obviously the majority, of course, is obviously rye, but then the secondary and then the third items in the mash bill is a high percentage of corn and malted barley. And that's really just to kind of make it a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more balanced as a whole. So it'll be interesting to kind of get into this 10-year rye whiskey. So from nose standpoint, wow. This nose is definitely different than my 2020. I remember this one here because I was just sipping this one not too long ago. This one's extremely floral, very spicy, tons of like pepper, tons of licorice. This nose is definitely a lot more similar to this bad boy here, the barrel strength rye that came out this year. A lot more notes of, you still get like the core from a rye standpoint. Your pepper, a smidge of black licorice, and a little bit of some floral notes, but a lot more, in my opinion, of like caramel, a bit more of like a smidge of like orange peel, a little bit of leather, and there's something else in the background that's slightly different. That's interesting. I also get even like some baking spices in there as well. Whew, we shall see. All right. So Dan McKee, the master distiller, And then also Andrea Wilson, the master of maturation. So Andrea, she is just like the expert when it comes to the barrels, obviously the toasting process, but then also as the whiskey ages in the barrels. It's all Andrea. So typically, I've never ever have been disappointed by a Michter's product. We shall see if this continues, my friend. Hey, I say this each and every week. Peace, cheers, salute. 3 quick, easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know if you've tried this, if you found it yourself thus far, and what your thoughts are. And last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel. Cheers, my friends. Ooh. Ooh. That is, that's interesting. That's interesting. All right, hold on. Let me get a little bit more, and then I'll give you the verdict. And I'm going to compare it to the to that release as well, the 2020 release. All right, hold on. Wow, that's a really nice nose. It really is. Wow, very nice. Okay. All right. So first and foremost, while the proof point is 92.8, in my opinion, this sips closer to like a 98, maybe even a 99 proof, close to the 100 mark. I do love the fact that the nose matches the palate. A lot more in the palate, in my opinion. Not as floral and as a little bit of the licorice I had in the nose. A lot more like caramel, like the leather, and then also a bit, and I mean just a smidge of some brown sugar that came through in the palate that was not there actually in the nose. To me, question is, Judge, is this a buy? How good is it? The judgment is in. Folks, this is a definite buy. This is not good. This is absolutely amazing. And I mean amazing. It had a very nice long finish that wasn't overpowering, but it wasn't weak. It was something that you sip to really enjoy with some good friends, you know, just kind of hanging out. That is amazing. Now, what I'm going to do is bring in the 2020 release and pour this bad boy just to see how similar or how different it is. All right. Here we go. Let's see. I'm wondering, now this one's been open for about a month now, because I've had this bottle for a while actually. And I've been diving into it a little bit with some friends recently. Let me go ahead and just clear my palate real quick. So it'll be very interesting to see how different the 2020 versus the 2022 releases. All right, let's go ahead and get into this bad boy. So definitely spot on. The nose in this one, a lot more traditional rye. Tons of mint, tons of like black licorice. Still get like that caramel and the brown sugar from like the toasted barrels, but a lot more of like a traditional rye. Where this one, the nose and the palate was more similar to a almost like a hybrid, a rye whiskey that has a lot of components of a an actual bourbon. All right, cheers everyone out there. Wow. That's good too. Damn. Whew. So, as we always know, each and every Michter's 10-year release, always a single barrel release. That is amazing too. Why these are, how they're different, I should say. The 2020 release is a lot more of a traditional rye whiskey. A lot more notes of like the floral, the licorice, the mint come through in this bad boy. But it's absolutely an amazing pour. This one, the 2022 release, because it does have that a lot more corn and malted barley in the mash bill, it definitely sips slightly closer to a bourbon. They are both insanely good, and these bad boys, hell, I'm pouring more. Hey, my friends, until the next time, peace, cheers, salute. If you get a chance to find this, let's just say, you will not be disappointed. Cheers. Wow. Damn, that is good. Peace out.